My next guest is coming off an impressive victory over Mike Breeden at UFC Vegas 53 back on April 30th. It's Natan Levy back here on the program. Natan, how are you, sir?
I'm good. Thank you very much for having me.
Hey, well, the pleasure is all mine, and congratulations. First UFC victory. I know it's been a long road to get to this point. Just how are you feeling a few days removed, getting that first UFC win? It's always a little sweeter when it's in the UFC.
Yeah, it feels amazing. My body is not feeling amazing at all.
Okay.
But I'm happy, so that's what matters. And yeah, every win is great. Your next fight is always your biggest fight and most important fight. But I think it's very hard to pass this one in importance and just how big it is, and how it shows me that everything I worked for has been paying off, and I'm doing the right thing.
What was the game plan heading in? It looked like again, you had a lot of success in the fight, but what was the game plan against Breeden?
The game plan was basically not to do the mistakes I did in my last fight, not to swing too big, not to try and take his head off. We were talking like death by 1,000 paper cuts, and just chip away at him because he's so tough and durable. It would be a mistake to just try to head kick him or get him down and sub him because he's so tough, and then you would just spend too much energy. So the game plan was, using the jab, using the straight left hands, calf kicks, low kicks. Didn't get to implement those. Just felt the range was wrong. In the fight, it wasn't there, I think. And takedowns were part of the game plan, but I had seen him on film, and really I thought he had like a great takedown defense, not because he's an Olympic wrestler, but just because he's got good reflex. He can get those underhooks. He's strong. It's hard to feint him to get a takedown. Like, he's not going to overreact and bring his hands up because you jabbed at him. So he's always cautious of it. My game plan was to take him down on his offense mostly. And I think, I tried to do that. Sometimes it worked. Later in the rounds, a little bit less. But again, at the end of the day, I know I had him hurt a few times. I tried to finish him. I was also kind of tired, but the game plan was not to finish him. The game plan was to maintain the energy, maintain the cadence for 3 rounds.
Was there anything about him that surprised you in the fight?
Nope.
Okay, simple as that. Everything you expected, yeah.
Everything I expected, and I built him up in my head to be super tough. But you know what? I've fought a lot of tough mofos to this day, but so far I'm the toughest one.
How confident were you going to the judges' scorecards? I think most people watching at home felt like you had the win, but how are you feeling?
Yeah, I thought it was in the bag.
Good. Okay. So again, we talked about it there. First UFC victory. And the reason I bring this up is it's been a long road. I know you've had some injuries, some fight cancellations, all these different things that happen. You should have had, I think, at least 4 fights in the UFC already. But here you are getting the first win. So how did you celebrate after such a big moment in your career?
Like I always do, just with no clubs, none of that. Just a big hug to my wife, hanging out with friends, going to eat some sushi with the team, my coaches, my good friends, my close circle. And that's it. Yesterday, I went with my wife. We just did our own little celebration, more romantic, and that's it.
Cool. Well, don't need the details on that, but I'll assume you had a good time. But is sushi normally your go-to after the fight? Are you a big sushi guy?
Yeah, the thing, when I was, before I even started fighting, I remember I was at Syndicate training, and I had a friend who was going to fight for an amateur title, and he ate sushi after weigh-ins. It was bad, and he couldn't
sick.
fight. Yeah, he got sick.
Oh, no. That happened to Diego Sanchez, actually. I don't know if you remember when he was supposed to fight Josh Koscheck, he got really ill off some sushi. So you got to be careful about that. It's good to have it after the fight, like you said.
Yeah, I don't eat at places that are suspect.
Like a fast food. Yeah, it's got to be like a mom and pop place. Yeah.
Yeah, but just I remember from that day they told me never eat sushi after weigh-ins, and I love
Yeah.
sushi, so I'm like, okay, after the fight then.
Yeah. I live in Vancouver, and we got some great sushi out here because obviously we're close to the water and we get a lot of, food coming in. So I'm the same way. I love sushi, but you got to be careful. Like, I'll never take it if I like have to do something important. It's usually like, if it's like a weekend or something. So I know exactly what you mean there. That's great. How about the feedback after the win? Again, great performance. Obviously you have a huge fan base, not only, being Israeli as well. I'm sure you had a lot of fans reach out. How cool was that to get the feedback after such a big win?
Really cool. I got a lot of support all the time, which is really incredible. Coming from a small country, so there aren't many fighters. Definitely not many at the high level. I'm the only one in the UFC currently, but there are more coming. There's a lot of up and coming great fighters. The support is amazing, especially getting to see videos from like people in bars
Oh, cool.
going crazy when I win. That's like really moving for me, and it's an incredible experience.
And well deserved, which is great. Has there been any talk from the UFC through your manager or anything? Again, they must have been happy because it was a great fight and obviously you came out on top.
Yes, I think my agent and the UFC are always in touch. Yeah, I didn't get like a specific message or anything, but I'm sure they were pleased with my performance. I gave it everything I had, so they better be. And
Yeah.
I got 2 checks, so that's great. And we keep going from here.
Speaking of money, did you have anyone message you that they won a lot of money on your fight? Because the odds, I think, were pretty close.
Yes, but don't tell a Jew you made money off of him because he's going to ask for commission.
There you go. And ideally, when would be the last, when would you like to have your next fight? If the UFC came to you and they said, hey, you can pick a date, when would you like to have that next fight?
July. Right now we're in May. No, sorry, so not July. 3 months would be perfect. August, I think, would be great. I know there's a card in France in September.
Ooh, there you go.
So I wouldn't mind that. I was also born in Paris. I can speak the language.
Perfect.
So I can maybe help promote a little bit. Maybe I can have some fans from Europe and from Israel fly in. So I think that would be great.
Cool. That's cool. And any opponents in mind, or you just leave that up to your coaches? I mean, again, first UFC win, so I'm sure, you're kind of looking at the roster and, got a little bit of momentum here.
Yeah, I'm not that familiar with the division. But I have, I see the guys that are like on my level as far as career-wise, guys that are fighting on the prelims. There are like 1-0 in the UFC, 1-1, 2-0, something like that. I think it's a good, fair matchup. But I'll let my agent talk to the guys in the UFC and see what they want to do. I think I put on a good performance in both my fights, even the one I did not win. So I think they can count on me for a good fight.
You mentioned off the top not feeling the best, or do you have any injuries or anything, or did you drink too much? What you sort of generally just said that, so I'm curious what's going on.
First of all, like just getting punched a million times by Breeden.
Not great. Yeah.
Kicking him hard, punching him hard. My knuckles hurt. My legs hurt. But like I said, it doesn't matter how much you're hurting on the outside. When you lose, you feel everything, and when you win, you don't feel anything. Like it's about a scratch.
Okay, I like that. And what's the plan for the rest of the week? I know you're probably back to a little bit of training, but got anything planned with the wife?
I want to just recover. I'm gonna go do some physical therapy at the PI, which I'm so thankful to have them. Also, at some point, during this fight camp, I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to make it to the fight, but they really helped me through it. All the injuries that I had, just the moment I signed the contract, I had some idiot who came into the gym, was pretty good in jiu-jitsu, and got me in an armbar. I tapped, it didn't let go. My arm popped.
Oh, no.
This was like how to start the camp in an awesome way. So for a month, I couldn't use my arm. So I was just kicking the heavy bag and running. And, then more trouble until it was like a week before the fight. And I wasn't sure if I'm like, this is bad. Like, I want to go out, I want to fight so bad, but if I lose because of my injuries, I'm going to hate myself forever. I'm going to regret it forever. But also
Such a tough spot.
but also I knew that, like it's and something more to overcome. Like, if I win after all of this, it's going to be even more worth it. And it was.
Yeah. That's amazing, man. Don't have to mention anyone names. I don't want to get anyone in trouble, but is that person that was at the gym, are they still at the gym? Like, was this something that they got in trouble for? Because that's terrible. You shouldn't be hurting training partners at all.
Oh no, he's not. He never came back to the gym because it would have been bad for him. I'm not a vengeful person or violent at all, but I think he's lucky he didn't come back to the gym.
That's crazy. Did other teammates stand up for you and were like, hey man, what are you doing? Because like, I'm sure that does happen every now and then where you have, morons coming through, whether it's a macho thing or whatever. I mean, sorry you had to go through that, man. That sucks, especially at the start of camp. It's not ideal.
Yeah. Like, my teammates were on him. But at first, you don't really know, like, was it on purpose? Was it not on purpose? Plus me, I'm very, forgiving, and I try to see, I was very mad, but obviously, like, I understand it was an accident. I understand he probably didn't hear it. Mm-hmm. And only later I realized the commission was actually there to watch him, to see if he's ready to fight and kind of gauge his skill level. His striking was terrible, so I went easy on him, but he's actually a high level black belt. Like, internationally, people know him as a good black belt. I didn't know. And, when we went to the ground, he didn't show me the same courtesy
Respect
that I had showed him on the feet. And again, I didn't know at the moment that he was there to prove himself. I thought we were just, sparring light. His stand-up looked very, very low level, so I was being really nice to him. I was like, why I gotta be with this guy now? I want to spar, I gotta fight, but okay, I'll go with you. And again, later on, I started to understand that he took advantage, and it started to really hurt the like, my ego, and like, just made me kind of mad about it. But at the moment, I didn't do anything. I thought it could have been an accident. And later on, he didn't come to the gym.
Good for you. Oh, sorry you had to go through that, man. And again, it probably makes the victory even sweeter having to overcome all that. You already had a bunch of fights where there were injury issues or fighters pulling out and all this stuff. So, I mean, it's got to make the win that much sweeter, overcoming all of this and still getting the win, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It made it like, I knew that so much adversity, I got to win.
Yeah, and you did it, man. It was great. Natan, congrats on the victory. That was awesome. And again, that's crazy what happened. Just remind people where they can get a hold of you on social media. And if you got any shout outs or sponsors, anything like that, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. You can follow me on social media on Instagram, Natan Levy, NATAN_LEVY. And Twitter, it's the opposite way around, LEVY_NATAN. I'm still figuring out the details, but I'm going to be selling my fight kit, auctioning it for Holocaust survivors. There are only a few of them left. They're old. They don't have the best quality of life, let alone the incredible trauma they had to go through. But even today, it's hard for them to sustain a decent quality of life. So just whatever we can do to help them. I'm figuring out the details because I thought about it, before the fight. It was the Memorial Day, it was Yom HaShoah, but I didn't get the details together and the platform to do the auction and all of that. But I'm almost done with it. And then I'll post it on my social media, on my Facebook as well, and try and get some donations and, of course, the bids for the fight kit.